What if I told you that one of the most beloved romantic comedies of all time is actually a retelling of a 1960s musical about linguistics? Hey, it's Ladies First, and today we're talking about Pretty Woman and My Fair Lady and how these two films reveal the evolution of the makeover movie, from class rebellion to romantic fantasy. Both stories begin the same way. A wealthy, emotionally distant man encounters a working-class woman across an impossible social divide. In My Fair Lady, Professor Henry Higgins meets Eliza Doolittle, a Cockney flower seller whose accent marks her as permanently lower class in 1960s Britain. In Pretty Woman, corporate raider Edward Lewis picks up Vivian Ward, a Hollywood Boulevard sex worker, for what begins as a simple business transaction. But here's where it gets interesting. Both men make the same arrogant assumption that they can transform these women into something better. Higgins wagers he can pass Eliza off as a duchess through speech training alone. Edward decides to polish Vivian with designer clothes and etiquette lessons for a week of business dinners. Neither man initially sees love as part of the equation, they see projects. The makeover sequences in both films follow an almost identical blueprint. First comes the learning phase. Eliza, struggling with the rain in Spain, stays mainly in the plane, while Vivian fumbles with escargot and multiple forks. Then the practice run. Eliza at the Ascot races, Vivian at the polo match. Finally, the grand debut. Eliza at the embassy ball, passing as royalty. Vivian at the opera, stunning Edward's business associates. But here's what's fascinating. The films use these transformations to reveal completely different truths about their heroines. Eliza's breakthrough moment isn't about looking pretty, it's about mastering language, claiming intellectual power. When she finally nails her pronunciation, she's not just speaking properly, she's speaking with authority. Vivian's transformation, meanwhile, centers on external beauty and social polish. The iconic Rodeo Drive shopping montage isn't about her gaining new skills, it's about revealing the elegant woman who was always there, hidden beneath circumstances. This brings us to the most crucial difference between these films: how they handle male authority. Higgins is brilliantly, infuriatingly selfish. He treats Eliza like a fascinating experiment, dismissing her feelings and taking credit for her success. When she finally confronts him,
I sold flowers, I didn't sell myself. Now you've made a lady of me, I'm not fit to sell anything else.
she's calling out the fundamental cruelty of his transformation project. Edward, by contrast, becomes increasingly vulnerable as the week progresses. Yes, he starts from a position of financial control, but Pretty Woman frames his emotional awakening as equally important as Vivian's external transformation. He learns to be tender, to be present, to value connection over conquest. These differences reveal how the makeover movie evolved between 1964 and 1990. My Fair Lady reflects post-war Britain's obsession with class mobility, the idea that speaking properly could unlock social advancement, but at enormous personal cost. Eliza's ending is deliberately ambiguous. Does her return to Higgins represent love or surrender? Pretty Woman, meanwhile, emerges from Reagan-era America's romance with wealth and consumption. Vivian's transformation happens through shopping, luxury hotels, and access to Edward's affluent world. The film suggests that with the right opportunity and the right man, anyone can ascend into the American dream. But there's something deeper happening here. My Fair Lady questions whether transformation actually empowers women or simply makes them more palatable to men. Eliza gains a voice, literally, but loses her original community and identity. Pretty Woman, despite its fairy tale ending, raises similar questions. Vivian may rescue Edward right back, but she's still dependent on his wealth for her happy ending. Here's what both films understand that many modern makeover movies miss. The most important transformation isn't external. Eliza doesn't just learn proper English, she learns to demand respect. Vivian doesn't just learn table manners, she learns to value herself beyond what men are willing to pay for her. Yet both films also reveal the limitations of transformation narratives. They suggest that women need to change their speech, their appearance, their entire presentation to be worthy of love or social acceptance. The The men may learn something too, but the burden of change falls disproportionately on the women. The template these films established, particularly Pretty Woman, shaped romantic comedies for decades. The makeover montage, the unlikely pairing, the transformation through love became standard elements, but they also embedded problematic ideas about relationships, that love should be instant, effortless, and tied to external change. Pretty Woman convinced a generation that the right man could rescue you from any circumstance, while My Fair Lady warned us that rescue might cost more than we're willing to pay. Both perspectives contain truth, and both demand closer examination. The Makeover movie evolved from My Fair Lady's sharp social critique to Pretty Woman's romantic fantasy, but the core question remains: when we transform for love, are we becoming more ourselves or losing ourselves entirely? The answer, like Eliza's final choice, remains beautifully, frustratingly complex. What's your take? Do you see these makeover movies as empowering or holding us back? Let me know in the comments. And if you love analyzing iconic women from your favorite movies, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Ladies First.